She played for Hanalali. She played 4 years at the varsity level. She was all conference honoree all 4 years. She was a second team All-State member her sophomore and senior seasons. And she also was her school's first ever women's basketball all-conference selection. Okay? She attended the University of Corbin University in Salem, Oregon, right? And I think she played 14 games her freshman year. Her second year was COVID, so she played all 13 games for them. And then her last year playing, did she play 4 years? 3.5. Okay, so the third year, I only understand for the third year. She started 16 games, played in all 26 games, and averaged 26 minutes on the hardwood. All right, so super proud to introduce Kayla Schutzer.
Coach Derek said, my name is Kayla Tsutsui. I started playing basketball in 5th grade, so around your age, and then joined H4C when I was in 7th grade. As he said, I attended Honolulu schools and played basketball all throughout high school, and continued my basketball career playing for Corbin University, and have now officially retired. Coach Darren asked that I share a little bit about my testimony, and when I asked him if there's anything specific that he wanted me to share about, he brought about the word standards. After thinking about this word for quite a while, I realized that a lot of my basketball career was spent focusing on the wrong standards. I spent so much time playing basketball, worried about what other people thought about me, worrying that I wouldn't live up to their standards or expectations, or even the standards and expectations I placed for myself, that it started to suck the joy out of playing the game. I realized that my standard was not God's standard for me, but rather a standard that I set for myself to be perfect. And we like things that are perfect, right? We like things we associate being perfect with being good. But when I started to focus on trying to be perfect, I got so worried, and there was just so much pressure that it caused me to start to hate the game that I once loved. Understanding this was such an important issue for me that this was one of the reasons when I went to college, I majored in counseling psychology. And in my years of playing in college, especially my final year, is when I started to learn that the only real way to overcome perfectionism and fear of failure is shifting your focus back on the truth of who God is and who God created you to be. Tonight, I hope to share a few truths that I learned in my time playing and words of encouragement to help you better understand God's standard for you. Here are a few reminders of very important truths when it comes to these areas. Number 1, you are not defined by your performance, whether that be grades, sports, or in other areas of your life. It's important that we try our best, and it's important that we do our best to prepare beforehand, but when we start to place so much pressure on ourselves to always do good, always get 100%, and always score however many points we need to score, then that's not healthy for us, and that's not good. And you can know if there's too high a value placed on any area of your performance if it has full control over the rest of your day and how you see yourself. So something that I had to ask myself was, does one bad game affect my mood for longer than it should? So if I have one bad game, or if I have a bad practice, am I going to be angry the rest of the day? That's how I learned that I was placing too much pressure, expectation on myself, and my identity was being misplaced. Even the concern and worry about what other people say or think can indicate too much value is being placed on the opinions of others. Number 2, success is not limited to your performance. One of the most winningest coaches, John Wooden, who won a lot of games in his time as a coach, he defines success this way. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you can become. That's a lot of words that he gave, but I always thought of success as wins and losses, as how many points I scored, as how many minutes I played. That's what I thought success was. But it wasn't until I learned that success is so much more than those things. It's my attitude when I come to practice, it's how hard I work every day, am I doing the best that I can to bring honor and glory to God? Those are ways that I can be successful, not just in wins and losses, and not just in points. This change in thinking about how I viewed success ultimately helped me to have fun again and to enjoy the gift that God gave. Number 3, everyone's journey looks different. Comparison is something that steals joy away from me. It's a thief of joy. When I started to look outward and compare myself with other people, I started to lose joy for the game. With social media, I think it can be really easy to look and see and want what other people have, whether it be, I wish I was like this player, I wish I was more like her, I wish I looked a certain way. All of those things started to steal my joy. But I had to remind myself, and I want to remind all of you, that you are here, you are with the family that you have, you're on the team that you're on purpose and for a purpose. Isaiah 45:9 says, "Who are we to quarrel with our master? Does the clay say to the potter, 'What are you making?' You were all fearfully and wonderfully created to be, and to grow and to develop into the people that God has you to be. To doubt otherwise is similar to a piece of clay arguing with its potter." Number 4, you are not loved for what you do, but for who you are. Your value does not come from how much you play or if you're good at basketball. Your value does not come from what your friends say about you. Your value does not come from your grades or anywhere else. You are valued because you're created in the image of God and have been given the specific talents and skills and personality that you have to not hold you captive and make you stressed out and worried, but to help you enjoy and have fun and live the life that God created you to live. Last, you are only able to truly receive God's grace when you acknowledge the imperfections. As someone who always tried to be perfect all the time, acknowledging where I was having a hard time or struggling was hard for me. It was hard for me to admit my mistakes. However, I could only receive God's grace when I looked at my life and realized how broken I was without Him. I've been saying the word grace a lot, and you may be wondering, what does that even mean? What does that look like? Ephesians 2:8 says, "For by grace you are saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is a gift from God, not from works, so that no one can boast." This verse shares exactly what God's grace is. It's a free gift. I didn't earn it. I didn't have to be perfect to earn it. It was a free gift given by Him because He loves me and He loves you. Where I should have received punishment, and when I sin, when I mess up, God gave me grace instead, and God gives us grace instead. And part of the gift of His grace is forgiveness. That I get a clean start, a fresh start every day. I don't have to wait for a new game. I don't have to wait for the next win. I get a fresh, clean start every day because of the gift of His grace. And more than just forgiveness, He wants to have a relationship with us, with you, and with me. But a big part of the gift is receiving the gift. So once I understood and received God's grace fully for myself, I was able to break down the old standards and replace it with God's standards for me. I wanted to end with this picture of what God's grace looked like for me. It's called kintsugi. It's a Japanese art form that takes things that are broken and makes them whole again. So on the screen, you can see a picture of the bowl. It's okay. You can see a picture. You can see a picture of a bowl, right? Those gold cracks weren't always there. So the bowl looks like how it usually would look. It would look completely perfect before, and it had value. It probably cost around maybe like $50, it was handmade, but the real beauty comes from when the bowl is broken. And so what Kintsugi does is it takes the broken shards, the broken pieces of the bowl, puts 24 karat gold in it, and creates it to be new again. And so it not only does it make it whole, but it actually increases the value. And so that's how I view God's grace in my life. First, I had to acknowledge, right, that the bowl was broken in the first place. I couldn't just go on pretending that it was fine and it was perfect and it was fixed. But once I realized that it was broken, and once God's grace, the gold, filled the cracks in my life, He was able to create me new. And that's something that I wanted to share with you guys, is that if you allow Him, God can take what is broken and make it in your life and make it beautiful. And you're never past the point of God's grace. And something I just wanted to end with was that it was important for me to be surrounded by people who would be willing to pick up the broken pieces with me. And so if you look around, there's all these, my former coaches are here, former team moms are here. All of these people were instrumental in helping me pick up those broken pieces, helping me in my journey, in my faith, and it was so necessary for me to learn from them and to really allow them to guide me in this area, because it was really hard. But I'm so incredibly thankful for all of them and all that they've helped me become, and I know that they'll do the same for you. Thank you.